Trace Trylko, Sons of UCF, the Knights are coming off their most complete, most dominating performance of the season in a 45-3 win over Oklahoma State. Coaches are pleased with what they saw in that win, but it's back to work, and they know in order to become bowl eligible, they're going to have to do it again.
I talk all the time about discipline, and again, our discipline was on point. It was very good. We didn't have those penalties that put us in, situations where again we were behind the chains. I thought the toughness and getting after it was exactly what we talk about all the time, and our effort was really, really good. And you see people blocking downfield. You see, everybody working together. It all works together, and that's what makes the offense go, whether you're throwing or running. And it's about effort, and it's about playing for each other, and that's what I'm most proud of. The attitude, you just see a team be informed. You see, again, we talked about offense, get over there and help the defense, and you can just see that, then feed off each other and the positive energy again. And, we talked about what happened, the Baylor game when we were up, and guys, we're not letting anything slip. And I was really proud of them, how they finished the game.
What were the conversations then after the turnover early in the third quarter? Oklahoma State had just scored for the first time. It was 24-3, I think, at that point. What were the conversations like after that turnover for the next time you guys?
Yeah, and it was a protection issue. They were playing low. We were taking a shot, and the protection broke down. And John, there's sometimes and John Rice played quarterback very good in a lot of situations in that game. But that was the one where you feel the pressure coming. You got this time you got to take a sack. You can't get the ball, and he's trying to get rid of the football. And as it's coming up, it gets knocked out of his hand. You can't do that. You got to two hands on the football and take the sack, and we can play another down. It's no problem. But it's not a situation where we can turn that football over. And that's the other thing I'm proud of is that we didn't turn the football over that one time. But again, you saw a lot of ball security. Again, the defense not touching the football, and again, throwing the football where our guys can touch it, and opportunity balls for our guys.
When then that next sequence, then when the defense got the turnover, you come back on the field. RJ goes 92 yards. Like, does that just help the exhaling and just?
There's no doubt, and we had we talked about halftime with Coach Malzahn exactly what we wanted to do, and sure enough, we come back and end up with a huge run and a huge play. And again, that's the defense stepping up, and the defense played great. Obviously, I mean they did a great job in feeding off of them. And our time of possession, we said we had to hold the football, longer than they did because they were one of the best teams in the country at holding on to the football. And our defense did a phenomenal job, and we held the ball for, I think it was 35 minutes in the game, which is what we wanted to do.
Darin, was this the best performance by the offense that you've seen this season?
Yes, it was the best performance by the offense this season. Yes, sir. Yeah. You look at third downs. We did a good job on third downs in the red zone. We were 5-5, scoring, and that's what our goals are. And just the complete game plan was again a good. The kids knew it and went and executed it, and they played at a high level. Our receivers made plays outside when we needed to make plays. When they came down to stop the run, when they didn't, we were running the ball. Our O-line did a very good job of IDing. They were trying to show all different kind of looks. They were changing up front, and we did a good job adjusting. There's sometimes they got us, but again, we would go to the sideline. Coach Hand did a phenomenal job of talking about that, and then we would come back out and find a way. So it was, again, a complete game.
This is what, John Rice said yesterday. This is the offense that you guys expected to kind of put out week in and week out. Is that what you guys felt like after the performance? Is that?
Yeah, and you just got to understand, like with John Rice too, it's a situation where when you're throwing as a quarterback, you throw with your lower body more than you do with your upper body. You don't just throw with one arm. You throw with your hips, your shoulders, and obviously your legs and your knees are torqued constantly. So you can see the progression as he continues to heal and get better and better and better. And you see the accuracy where he was before he got injured, and I was really pleased with where he was throwing the ball and the targets that he threw and the opportunities that he threw. There's a lot of one-on-one balls that he threw it to where the receiver can catch it, the DB, away from the DB, and our receivers went and made plays.
It seems like we're asking you a different question about center every week with using different names. What was behind the scenes this week that leads you to Lokahi?
Well, it was a situation where we were thinking, okay, and every week we do, what's the best five that we can put out there, and we came to the conclusion that Lokahi at center would be our best opportunity to do that. And Killer was ready to go. It was a situation where we just felt like that would be the best five to put up there and to put him in that position. And, that was his first time really doing it, and the snaps weren't all, and I told the quarterbacks, guys, we got to help him. It's his first time doing it, but he did a very good job at center with his IDs and the calls and everything and all that, because that's what goes into playing center. You got to be the quarterback of the offensive line, and so we felt like with his leadership and his experience, that would be the best thing against Oklahoma State.
Do you get a little nervous when the rain comes in? You got a guy and look at you at center, you're like, something could go wrong here.
That's right, and but that's football, and we got to be ready for everything. And sure enough, the rain came, and we did a good job of making sure we held on the ball. I mean, I think Coach Malzahn called it like a watermelon ball a couple times with John Rice. He was like he felt like you're running around with a watermelon trying to throw it because the ball was so soaked. But we did a good job as far as handling the ball and our ball security when it was wet.
Do you see a situation where Lokahi can continue moving forward at center, or is this again going to be week by week? You're going to keep trying to find the best.
Yeah, we're going to go in there and discuss it, and Coach Hand and Coach Malzahn, and we'll all discuss it and see what the best situation is. Coach Hand is doing a phenomenal job of getting those guys ready to play. So we'll come up with what the best situation is for this next game, and we'll figure what that is, and we'll get ready and go practice. And again, the good thing is that when you move Lokahi to center, we move guys around, but they've all played. It wasn't like we're inserting a right guard that hasn't played all season. Right. It was a situation, and Marcellus had to go play right guard, which was, he had to play left guard, he played right tackle. But he's been playing, and so that was what we felt was the best five to put out there for this game. And again, there's a lot of good executions, a lot of things we got to clean up, and again, we'll decide what the best five is for this week.
What does it say about the adaptability of these guys? They're moving around as much as they are.
Yeah, and that's what Coach Hand and Coach Malzahn did as far as fall camp. I mean, we moved them around a bunch during fall camp for this reason, and also we were looking to see what the best five would be. We had Drake Metcalf, we've had Boole at center, we moved Drake to guard, we moved Boole to guard. We did a bunch of things where we moved guys all around. Amari, what's the best position for him? In Marcellus, we moved him around. He's played left tackle, he's played right tackle, he's played left guard, he's played right guard. But we moved him around all fall camp for this reason, to see who the best five is. So they've all played it at different times, and then we got to, and it just so happens, you'd rather not do that, trust me. We would rather just have all five just stay in the same position all season, but it just hasn't turned out that way. And again, the adjustments that Coach Hand and Coach Malzahn and everybody's been doing a great job, and we got to continue to do that as we get ready again this week.
What can you say about R.J. Harvey and the kind of performances he's been putting up week after week now?
He just, his work ethic and everything that he puts into practice, and how he's trained and how he's put himself ready for this moment, and then when he gets out there, he just feeds off of it. And it takes all 11 of us, the whole offense, the quarterback. I mean, John Rice faking a lot of times pulls people out of the way, and that's why he only has to make one guy miss versus two. And there's times when the receivers are doing a great job of securing guys so that he only has one guy to miss. And he's been doing a great job making the one guy miss constantly. And you can see that, and his vision is really, really good, where he can jump cut from A gap to C gap very, very quickly, which is one of his specialties, to be able to see the hole and then find it and go hit it, and then yak yards after contact.
I know I know you guys have been kind of on the other side of it with the defense, but how important is it for RJ and for the offense that he seems to be getting stronger as the game goes on and picking
Oh,
up?
there's no doubt. And, there's some situations again where, Johnny's been in there too, and Johnny is just like one guy away from breaking a huge one. And, it's kind of, we keep trying to feed him the ball too, because he is electric with the ball in his hand. And the bottom line is that it's just been a couple unlucky things when he's been in there, but we're ready for him to have some explosive runs too. So again, we're going to continue to do what we need to do at running back to play the best situation for our team.
How much of RJ Harvey's performance when he's running like he is that you kind of just want you kind of maybe change the plan a little bit, just keep feeding him the ball because he's having those. We've seen that kind of performance where he's able to do the things he's done.
Yeah, and we were averaging 16 times he was touching it in the game, and we said we needed to touch it 20. And that's what Coach Malzahn had said. He said, I think 20 is the number. Let's get him over 20 every game, and that's what we were trying to do. And and again, he averaged 8 yards a carry again. So we got to continue to feed him the rock. And again, it all works together with the offense because again, we have to go throw the ball down the field also, and that helps open up the running game. And the running game opens up throwing the ball down the field. And with John Rice getting more and more accurate down the field and our receivers making plays, it all works together.
You mentioned John Rice and the placement of his throws. With the wide receivers, they made the most of their opportunities in this game.
They did, and I'm extremely proud of them. Javon continues to make circus catches but the key is that he knows where that ball is going or that area when it's a one-on-one fade ball, and he knows. We say put it on his outside shoulder. If we throw that ball on the inside, the DB's going to knock it down. It's not going to happen. But that ball was thrown on the outside shoulder every time, and it gives him an opportunity to be able to go up and go make plays. Same thing with Kobe. And Kobe made some big catches. A couple throws in the red zone that John Rice, when we get down there, he's got to throw them a little quicker, a little faster, because it's when you get in that red zone, it speeds up. Everything happens quicker. So, we got to continue to get better every week, which is what we've been doing, and continue to do that.
Can you feel the wide receivers having more confidence, knowing that the ball is going to be where it's intended?
There's no doubt about that, and it all happens in practice. It happens on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, but all the way through that confidence, and you can just feel it growing. And John Rice had a very good week last week, and it showed on Saturday.
As a UCF guy, what do you think about the space game, the atmosphere, even when it started to rain, and then the students being able to rush the field afterward?
Oh, it was an incredible game, and again, I take it one play at a time. And in those situations, I'm always looking at what's the next thing that we got to call, what's the next situation, what's the next third downs, all those kind of situations. But it was a great atmosphere, and the Night Nation was incredible, and we got to continue to bring it here for every time that we're there. But to see the students, so when I was trying to come out of the box, and I can't even get to the locker room because they were all crowding up there, and I can't even get near like our players or anything. So it was special to be able to feel that, and again to get that huge win at home.
Darin, you've been obviously a quarterback guy, but you've been around a lot of running backs in your time. I mean, what makes a good running back, and what are some of those characteristics have you seen maybe that RJ has maybe taken with him and maybe has grown a little bit in this season?
Vision number one is you've got to be able to see the holes, be able to see the cuts, be able to feel them, and then be able to make again that second level defender miss. And make him miss, and that's what he does such a good job of, and then to be explosive when he gets into open field. And you can see that he just at the end, it was nice to see him go finish and see Javon Baker, be able to go lead and help, and shield that. And that was a great play by Javon Baker where he blocked in the back early in the season, and he didn't, and it was just to see everybody grow and to see that happen. But yeah, the running back position, there's no doubt vision is number one. You got to be able to feel and see the different movements that are happening, where they're fitting, and where I hit it. And he does it so quickly. And he can go from A gap to C gap, not just to B gap, but he can go A to C and be able to hit it very, very fast. And that is the key to playing running back.
What's it like to have guys gutting from injuries? I know Xavier's been out for a couple weeks. He makes a big play early. Kobe Hudson dealing with a hamstring, John Royce said, makes the big 75-yard play. What's that like to see?
Yeah, it's great to see. You just see a lot of toughness. And again, that's discipline, attitude, toughness, and effort, and that's the toughness part. And, to play and to see Kobe catch that ball, and he's even with all the defenders and leave them all. And he wasn't worried about his hamstring right there. He let it go. So really, really proud of everybody. And again, the toughness. And you have to, this is a tough sport, and you have to bring it. And like Bula at the Cincinnati game, who's playing on basically one leg in front of a defensive lineman that's going to be playing in the NFL. So, you can feel that with the team, and again, it's exciting to see that everybody playing hard for everybody.
Darren, how do you guys avoid a letdown this week? You're coming off a big game, off against the number 15 team. You saw what Oklahoma State did. Against Oklahoma. How do you guys go into this Texas Tech game without avoiding that letdown?
Yeah, and right now it's a huge victory. We're very excited. It's for UCF. It's a great step, but it's a step. And the bottom line is we got a lot of unfinished business in this, and we got to take it one snap at a time. We can't look at anything more than that, and we got to come and bring it and build off of it like we did with the win against Cincinnati. We got to go build off of it this week, and we got to put our hard hat on. I call it like a construction worker. I call it a hard hat in the lunch pail, and we got to bring it Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday and get ready and prepare to go into a hostile environment on the road.
As a coach,
That was a big game at Texas Tech. They're coming off a big win against Kansas, held them to 13. I know they were on their third string quarterback, Kansas, but both teams are going to be playing for their sixth win. What do you know early on about the Texas Tech defense?
Yeah, they're very well coached, and they play hard, and they're a very good defense. There's not a defense that's just we're going to say, oh, they're easy. No, this is a very good defense. They mix it up in the back end. They do a very good job with that. And again, they're gonna mix up their fronts to confuse the offensive line. They're gonna stem. They're gonna do all kinds of things that are gonna create havoc, trying to create havoc for the offense. And we've got to be ready to adjust and be ready to go. And then in the same situation as it is every week, we've got to establish the run. We've got to establish the run, and they're going to try to stop the run. There's no doubt about that. And they're good. They're good at doing that.
as a coach, did you feel like in the midst of that 5-game losing streak, you get the win and now another? Does it feel like the pressure came off after that Cincinnati win? The team looser in their approach?
There was still so much to prove and so many things that, like in our stadium, and again, we didn't think anything. There's the 15th team in the country that just beat Oklahoma coming into our place. And so we knew it was going to be a war, and that's how we went into it with that mentality. And it's going to be that way every week in the Big 12. So, there was no doubt it was great to get a victory and to feel that, and to get that accomplishment. But again, to go get another one. And again, we played as a complete team. You guys saw the game. It was a very good game. But at the same point, we got to go back to work. And again, what caused that to happen? We got to go do it again this week. We have to.
Hitting on as a complete team, you had around 300 yards passing, around 300 yards rushing. What was the balance like being able to have that balance?
Yeah, and that's what we talk about all the time, is to have balance. You can't be one-sided. And when the rain came, I was a little, I'm like, oh boy, because they hunkered down and knew that it was going to be really hard to throw the ball. But the whole deal is you've got to be able to throw the football, and you've got to stretch the defenses vertically doing that, and complete the ball and be able to back them up to be able to run football. And it's complementary football in your own offense, and you've got to be able to do that. And that's what we've always talked about doing, is again, be great to run the football, but then you've got to be able to hit shots over their heads. You got to go convert third downs. You got to score in the red zone. Those are the keys.
Biggest thing, we did a good job of fitting the run, and the motions and the shifts and everything that they did not affect us as much as they did in the past. And I guys did a good job of tackling, a good job of corralling the football. And the biggest thing, we did not create. There weren't many vertical seams from for the running back to get downhill. So that was the most impressive thing, is just the effort also that the guys played with.
Addison, this game almost seemed like a statement game for you guys. I mean, all season long, you guys have been kind of trying to fight your way back, when it comes to the defense. Did it feel that way? Was that something you guys talked about this week going into the Oklahoma State game? Did you wanted to kind of maybe make this your statement game maybe against them?
And the one thing that we talk about is changing your identity. And your identity with this group of people may be different from with this other group of people. But at the end of the day, every Saturday you have an opportunity to go out there and change it. And yes, the season has not gone as you would want it to go thus far, but you have an opportunity on Saturday to go out there and make a statement, change that identity, change what people think about you. And our guys, they took the challenge and they went out and played well.
Bowman started perfect on his first 7 passes. I think he finished in the 50% range. What did you tell your guys as he was going through that?
Well, some of it was just called, because when you play cover 3, they run a curl flat combination. You know what you're giving up. So it was things that we knew could not beat us long term. But then that was my job. Okay, this is their plan. Let's switch some things up and tighten down on the coverage, which we did as the game went on.
Did you see something in practice during the week that indicated that you'd see the sort of performance you did?
That type of performance, I would say no. I thought that the guys would go out and play well and play with great energy and great enthusiasm. But to say that I saw that coming, I did not.
So why? Why this week?
The guys, they worked hard throughout the course of the week, throughout the course of the season. But having the opportunity to make a statement against a team like Oklahoma State, that were one of the hottest teams in the country, the number one running back in the country from a rushing yard standpoint, they were just up for the challenge. And my challenge to them now is, okay, it was easy to get up to play the number one back in the country. You put this on tape, so now how can we get better from it and consistently play that type of defense?
We've heard everyone say that this is a good football team. We're better than our record reflects. How important was it to kind of have this kind of a performance where everything seemed to come together to kind of confirm that belief heading into these final 2 games?
I think it was very important, and similar to what I said last week, I don't think there was ever a point in the season where the guys lost confidence. Obviously the energy level could be a little bit different. That's just human nature, but the guys never lost confidence, and they knew that we had enough pieces in the room, defensively and offensively, to be a good football team. It was just we couldn't put it all together. We was able to put it all together last night.
The fact that Ollie Gordon obviously had a lot of hype coming into the game, leading rusher. He had a couple games recently where he rushed for 250 yards back to back. Was that a big, maybe motivating factor during the game week for you to say, hey, this is who we got to stop? They're talking about him for the Heisman. Did that really kind of help get the guys focused?
I believe it did, because all those guys are competitors, and so when you put something like that in front of them, it's not hard to get them motivated, to get them, amped up to be ready to go. And like I said, again, my challenge now is you put it on tape against a good football team. Now, what are you going to do moving forward? Who are we going to be moving forward? What is our identity going to be moving forward? Because we've shown that we can fit the run. We showed that we can tackle. We showed that we can make plays on the football. We showed that we can affect the quarterback. So let's build on that as we move forward.
Addison, along those lines, you talk about moving this forward. I mean, can you take something like a game like this, and now you have it on film, and now you guys have done that. Now you say to them, "Listen, this is what we can do. We know we're this good. Let's do this." Like you said, for the next 2 games. Does that make things a little bit easier now that you guys had this kind of performance?
I wouldn't say it makes it easier, but it puts in front of them what you are capable of. And so with that being put on tape yesterday, now this is what we're thriving for. But in order to get that, it goes back to your preparation. How did we get to that point on Saturday? And it started throughout the course of the week, and so that was the challenge to them as we watched the tape today and as we went on the practice field as well.
Does a game like that, not that the standards are low, but does a game like that raise the standard of, okay, now I've seen you guys play this way, let's do that again, let's get better. Does it raise the standard at all like that?
Yeah, anytime you show that you can go out and play well, now this is where the bar is. And if we go out, next week or the week after that and play better, that bar, it rises even more. So the better we play, that's the higher that the standard is. I don't think it should be anything less.
It's been asked of players if the win at Cincinnati, snapping the 5-game losing streak, took some pressure off of them. What about for you? Do you feel like it took some pressure off of you to snap the losing streak, see a win?
It was. I wouldn't say it took pressure off me. because I'm really not a pressure-packed guy. I know it's a lot that goes on in this profession, and I'm a pro about it. You know, whether we're doing good, whether we're doing bad, I get it. And I get the flack when we're doing bad. I get the too much praise when we do well. But I would say it was a relief to me just for our guys to see them have the opportunity to win a football game and know that, hey, we are a good football team. We can win football games after losing 5 in a row, because several of the guys had never lost 5 games in a row. That's not nothing that you really want to be a part of, but that was the biggest relief for me, just knowing that, hey, these guys have seen themselves win a football game. Now let's go prepare, let's go win another.
As you look back and look at the different moments of the game, obviously the turnovers were huge. Were there a couple plays or turning points that you thought were really good plays for your defense?
All the turnovers were big. The 4th down stops were huge as well. And then right before the half, I would say was a huge one. They came out of, I believe, 2 minutes and 10 seconds or so to start, and they hit us on a flat route for about 15, 20 yards. And so that could have got them in a pace mode where, okay, here we go, we're going to have to stop them in the 2-minute situation, and then we're able to get the pick on the next play. Jason did a great job getting his drop, tipping the ball, and then Darin Hinshaw was able to come down with it. So I think that was a huge point in the game, because we talk about the end of halves, the end of games, not allowing points. And so to be able to go in the half and not give up points right there was really big for us.
That third quarter spot when the offense turned the ball over and the game felt a little bit in the balance, you know, especially after what happened against Baylor. What were the guys like in that moment? You know, knowing what happened to them a few weeks ago, applying those lessons and then getting that turnover and getting that stop to flip the game over.
We got to go finish. And one of the things that I told the guys that we needed to do leading up to it, we need to out effort them, out physical, and outlast them. And that was the big thing. Outlast. And let's outlast them. Plays, drives, quarters, whatever that may be. And obviously the game in the end. But it was a next play mentality. The offense picked us up. We got to go pick them up. And it was a great team win from that standpoint. I think Coach Malzahn, he challenged the team the last couple of weeks. The players won. Let's play off each other. And I think that's what the defense did when we took the field.
You talked about a couple almost interceptions for Braden Marshall. He finally gets his first one this week. What did you say to him after he got that?
Great job, man. He was in a great spot, and that's why you run to the football. He did exactly what he was supposed to do on the play, but the ball was thrown. He turned and ran to it. Probably one of the easiest interceptions he'd get. So it was definitely happy for him to see himself catch the football, and look forward to him making more plays on the ball as we go.
What can you say about Darin Henderson and just the kind of season he's putting forth? They really started the season as a starter, but now he's one of your main guys.
Yes, Darin, he's really coming to his own. And like I said, back in fall camp, he was working himself into a starter, and then he injured himself. But he's come back, and he's hit the ground running. And the thing with Darin, every game is still kind of new to him because he's still young, and he hasn't played a whole lot of ball up until this season. But I think as the season goes and as his career goes, he has a chance to be a really, really good player.
Addison, are you guys looking at, I mean, you look at each opponent each week, but you're one win away from being bowl eligible. That opens up a door for more practices, more opportunities to get these guys on the practice field. How much of that kind of plays out going into this week with Texas Tech? I mean, do you think about the opportunity of let's get another one so we can be bowl eligible and kind of keep this going?
Bowl eligible, to get that'd be great, but the biggest thing is to prepare and go win a football game. That's number one. And if we are able to go do that, then we'll naturally get bowl eligible. But the biggest thing is to go prepare well, and so we can go play well on Saturday. On
that point, how do you avoid a letdown? You see that with teams. They get big wins. Oklahoma State was coming off of the win at Oklahoma.
So I put that in front of the defense today. You had Oklahoma State that played Oklahoma, and they came and it was a letdown. You had us. We had this big win. What are we going to do? And the biggest thing is college football is week to week. You know, last week you could be one of the worst teams in the country. This week you could be one of the best teams in the country. But what is that book about you? What is that chapter going to say this particular week? And so last week don't matter. We enjoyed it last night. We watched it today. We made the correction, and now we're on to Texas Tech. Nothing else matters other than that.
That's the challenge for players, but what's the challenge for you and the coaches to keep them motivated and focused on the task at hand this week?
For us as coaches, we're all professionals, so we're always on to the next. And for our guys, just making sure we're keeping our thumb down on them. Not that we let anything slide, but every little detail has to be on point this particular week. Just making sure the guys understand the sense of urgency, you know what I'm saying, that we need to prepare with as we get ready for Texas Tech and for it not to be a letdown.
What do you see out of Texas Tech? I mean, I know you've You only got a little limited amount of time, but what have you seen so far from that team?
They're a good football team. Another good running back that we'll face. They have bigger guys on the outside. They have a slot receiver that's pretty good. Their O-line is massive. And so they're a team that, from watching, they want to run the football. They also have the ability to stack guys up on the outside and run different switch routes and now routes where we'll have to tackle in space. So it's going to be a huge challenge for us.
Not having, I know Ricky Barber's been kind of banged up the entire season. Just not having him, how do you think your defensive line kind of absorbed that loss?
They stepped up to the challenge. It was a next man up mentality, and the guys did a really good job. And one that doesn't get much credit at all is Matthew Alexander. I thought Matthew Alexander played a really, really good football game yesterday. And look forward to him with Ricky being, if Ricky's still out, look forward to him continue getting more reps and coming into his own as well.
You mentioned the turnovers, but Oklahoma State was 2 of 12 on third down, 25 minutes of possession. In previous games, your defense has been on the field a lot more. How much was that a relief to give your guys some rest?
That was a huge relief, man. I tell them all the time, we're tired at the end of games because early in games we don't get off the field on third down. Now, we may get off on the second or the third down of the series, but when you're getting off that late in the series, that's 9, 10 plays in the drive, and that wears on you as you go through the course of the game. We were able to get off the field on third down early and often in that game, and we were able to stay fresh throughout the course of it.
So I want to clarify something. Is Ricky unavailable this week? Do you think he'll be able to play this week, or is he unavailable?
I'm not sure. He was out there with us running around tonight, so I'm not really sure on that. Coach Malzahn will probably have an update on it.
Andrew Harris, I know he's been playing special teams. I think he got his first snaps at linebacker last night, had a big hit and limited play. But what's his outlook? How has he been developing as a linebacker?
Andrew, he's developing pretty well. He has some guys that in front of him that are a little more experienced. But Andrew, as you see from that one clip right there, that's some things that he's shown in practice. And so look forward to Andrew being a pretty good player for us as well as he continues to develop.
Team gets the lead, and then the rain comes, plus the atmosphere of the space game. How do those factors all combine and play to the advantage of the team?
With the early success that we had, I think it played into benefit for us because the rain came down, the guys were all excited, we were scoring points on offense, we were getting turnovers on defense. So the guys, they were super excited and feeding off each other. So it definitely played into it for us. It was like a bunch of kids out there running around in the backyard, man. It was great to see.
Is that the best energy you've seen from the team throughout the season?
100%. Probably one of the best energetic sidelines that I've been a part of since I've been here. It was awesome.
What did you see from the atmosphere of the fans throughout the rain and obviously being a large score?
Yeah, they were awesome, and really appreciate all of them for staying out there. Students as well, man, because it wasn't hard. It wasn't easy, I should say, to stay out there because it was coming down. And I'm normally in the box, so I have not experienced that in a long, long time. So I definitely appreciate everybody for staying out there and just the atmosphere. It was amazing the entire game. With
your critical eye, what did you see that you feel you need to most improve upon in this week of practice?
Moving forward, it'll be continue working on our zone drops. That'll be the biggest thing, working on our zone drops where we don't have to sit and play man-to-man every time we want to tighten coverage down. And then continuing fine-tuning our run fits and continue tackling the ball carrier.
Addison, I know Gus talked about this at the beginning of the year. This is your last road game. It's been a long, arduous road schedule for you guys. Has it really played a factor this year? Have you felt like these road trips have maybe kind of, especially this year, have really maybe taken its toll on you guys a little bit?
I would say no, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I would say no.
Yeah, Brandon Adams, I don't know his stats. I know he went out with an injury early. If he's out, does DeCorn Patterson see more reps, or what's kind of how would you rotate corner if Brandon Adams?
Yes, sir. So BJ, he's been battling some different things, and he was out there running around with us today. DeCorian actually did start the game this past game, and he played a pretty good game. And we feel comfortable when DeCorian's out there. We feel comfortable when Corey Thorne's out there. And then the Kyle also got some reps at corner. So we'll be in a good spot as we go to Lubbock.
What would you say about the quality of the tackling that you saw? That's been an ongoing challenge throughout the season.
It was some really physical tackles out there, so that was good to see. And the biggest thing, when we don't want guys making one-on-one tackles. And early in the season, there was a lot of one-on-one tackles, and that's not an easy thing to do, especially when you're playing against guys that are a little more bigger, a little more physical. Then you're at the point of attack, just pure size-wise. And so just getting more hats to the ball, the missed tackles don't show up as much. And when a guy do miss a tackle and make the back or the receiver check his feet a little bit, you got other guys running inside out to the ball. And so that's been very beneficial for us.
Coach Malzahn has said not many teams improve over the second half of the season. Why do you think this team is showing that level of improvement?
Just the hunger that they have. They know that we had not performed up to the ability that we have, that we have not performed up to our capability. And as the seasons went, we've had a couple games where we've been able to win, and everybody want to finish this thing strong because, yeah, we'll go back and we'll talk about we could have, should have, would have, did this at the beginning of the season. But if we can go and finish this thing strong as we know that we can, it'll be a good ending to a season.
So you think?
I'm not sure if you'd already gone back in the locker room immediately after the game, but I guess the students stormed the field. I think they let them with the, they told them, don't rush it, but we'll let you on a few minutes later so no one gets hurt. But have you ever been involved in a game like that when, students storm the field?
I've been involved in a couple of them. It's an awesome thing, man. It's good to just see all those guys just be able to run on the field and have a good time, party, take pictures, all that good stuff. So it was awesome to see.
Coaches and players have been saying that this team is better than what it showed. Is the team we saw Saturday in the win, is this the team you expected to have this season?
That is the team that we should put on the field every single week for sure. And we honestly feel like that way. Now, all games are going to go different. That game went about as good as it could possibly go. But for the complementary football that we played, offense playing well, defense playing well, running the football, stopping the run, that's just who we are as a program, man. We just have not shown that, but we were able to click it, especially on the defensive side of the ball this past Saturday.
So the Knights stand 5-5 on the season, 2-3 on the road. This is the last road trip of the regular season. In order to become bowl eligible, UCF needs one win in the final two, and that quest begins Saturday, 5 o'clock Eastern kick in Lubbock. For the Sons of UCF, I'm Trace Trylko.